Oh yeah, hey Robert, this is Dave coming to you from Piano Revival. Really like your videos, watch you quite a bit. Think you're very entertaining. This is my entry into your drama clickbait contest that I thought was really interesting. Had to absolutely enter it. Okay, question number one. Show an album that I personally hate, but everybody else seems to love. This is my cutout bin right here, which is where you will find this album. And we're going to go through here. These are all records I'm going to be moving on from. And I'm going to pull out this one, Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. I've heard for years that this was a really great album. Heard many people talk about it. Many people show it. I went out and bought a brand new copy for $22. Managed to sit through listening somehow, sat through it once. This album is pretty horrible. The singer sings in this monotone. The band is plodding at best. All the songs sound very samey. If this guy hadn't have killed himself and the band had only released a few albums, this probably would have just faded into obscurity. Yeah, and now I'm out $22 over this thing. So yeah, I can't stand this record. It's awful. Yeah, this, oops, fell on the floor. What a tragedy, huh? Okay, we're gonna move on. Show an album that has been shown way too much in the vinyl community. And we're gonna walk right over here. I saw this shown in a video I watched last night. Talk about it being shown too much. Would be Aretha Franklin live at the Fillmore East. This should be a barn burner on paper. It's really flat. It starts out okay and just goes downhill from there. Side one starts with Respect, I love the one you're with, and then it goes into Bridge Over Troubled Waters, Eleanor Rigby, really? And then something on the end of side four, Don't Play That Song. Yeah, Don't Play That Song. The ending is okay. They sort of light it on fire at the end, but the rest of it is just, it's flat. It's not really recorded very well, and people just keep showing this over and over and over and stop showing it. I don't want to see it anymore. This record is way better. Way, way better. So that's my story. All right. Show an album by a woman. Walk over this way. Now my light's flickering. I've got a couple of records that were made by lesbians, by lesbians, for lesbians. First is Holly Near. She started out as an actress in the late 60s. She was certainly not your typical Hollywood ingenue by any stretch. She was a little chubby, but she made up for it with a really bubbly personality and a penchant for taking her clothes off in movies all the time. She became a singer in the early 70s and sort of became, when it came out of the closet at that point, and kind of became the face of a lesbianism, a spokesman. She went to, did a lot of concerts, sang about lesbian causes. She actually is a pretty good singer. Started her own record company, Redwood, which I'll show the label. Redwood Records, and she would sign other acts, all lesbians. It was women for women. Most of these records were sold by mail order. There's an insert in here, a mail order insert. This is way before internet, where you could order these records and t-shirts and so forth. She kept the record company going basically with her own money. She never really made any money off of this company, but she did it to promote, I'm sure some of these records ended up in record stores somewhere, but not many. I've never seen another one. This is the only one I've ever seen. And I go to a lot of thrift stores. So Holly Near. She wrote all the songs except for one that was co-written by a guy. I know you said that you had to have them all written by. This is all of the songs were written by her. I listened to some of this. It's sort of that California country folk rock type of thing, fairly soft. She's a good singer, and it's well produced, but it just really isn't my cup of tea, to say the least. But I just had to kind of keep it hanging around just because it's sort of an oddity. This other one, it was their competitor. There was another label, it was called Olivia. And this one is June Middleton. She played with Barbra Streisand quite a bit. This was all written by her. This is another one of those, a competing lesbian record label. So, 2 records that were made by women, written by women, played by women. So there you go. Okay, show an offensive album cover. Well, that didn't take much thought. This record is offensively bad. I don't know how much coke these guys were doing when they decided this would be a good idea to pose as hunks on their awful, horrible record that is virtually unlistenable. To make it even worse, they have an insert with stuff that you can buy, t-shirts and junk to promote this thing. This was a group who, 4 or 5 years earlier than this had put out Brain Salvage Surgery and some other really classic records. They didn't really jump the shark. They kind of got eaten by it. That is really offensive. Okay, and then show a beat album. I got 2 of them I want to show. Both of them, I'm only holding on to them for what they are. I have a pretty wide acceptance of records as far as but I don't really keep really beat records except for these 2. This is Ike and Tina Turner's second album. This is on Sue Records. I bought this at the Salvation Army for 99 cents. I believe it's from 1961. I'll show the record. The jack is completely falling apart. Show the record. I don't know if you can really make out how many scratches there are on that. I did clean it. It does play, although it doesn't really look that bad, but it is kind of scratched up. It does play, and I like to wet them down just a little bit, get them damp before I play these records, these kind of beat up ones. Makes them play better. This one here, obviously, I'm probably never going to see another one. It's actually a really good album. They were just starting off, but this is a really good album. Tina Turner, man, back in those days, she had some pipes. The second one is Bo Diddley's second album. This one is more beat than that one. This I found at the dump. I used to go to the dump all the time back in the early mid-2000s. Nobody really wanted these records. You could go to the dump and just find stacks of them laying on the ground. This one I found at the dump. And again, you can wet this down and it plays not bad. You can see that he is a little more beat up. Yeah, Bo Diddley, yeah, there's a major scratch right there. Yeah, you could probably see that. That comes out pretty good. But, again, just make believe like you're sitting next to a popcorn machine when you listen to this. But, Bo Diddley, that guy played for a long time, and this is actually a really rocking album. I believe this is from 1956 or 57, somewhere around there. And this would be an original record. So there you go. That's my entry into your contest, Robert. Hopefully, you get some more entries than me. And again, thanks a lot, and bye-bye from Piano Revival. See you later.